We will each start off with a ball of clay, a paper towel, a cutting tool, some slip and some paintbrushes, and then, of course, a texture plate. So I'm going to start by taking my ball of clay and rolling it into a ball. I am kind of squishing it sometimes to get it the right shape. I'm rolling it really fast in between the two palms of my hand. Sometimes it might look a little silly. I can always use my thumb to smooth those parts out. Some people like to use the table as well to smooth it out. And it doesn't have to be a perfect ball, because the next thing we're going to do after we make it into a ball is squish. So I'm squishing it again with the meaty part of my hand. And I'm going to make it the size of a nice little cookie. I don't want it to be too skinny, so I can check it to make sure it's like the thickness of my finger, and definitely no skinnier than a pencil. And when I've got it the right thickness, oh yes, that looks good. Then I'm going to put my pancake on the texture plate. I'm pressing down again to make sure I get some of that texture on there. Yeah, I see I got some nice little wavy lines on there. And now I'm going to cut it in half with my cutting tool. I'm going to pick my favorite half, see which one I think's got better texture. I'm going to keep that half and smooth out the corners so they're not sharp, because they could be sharp once they become hard. Collect all my other clay, and I'm going to do all those steps over again. Yay! Step 1, roll it into a ball. Step 2, squish into a little pancake, but not too skinny. Step 3, add my texture. Step 4, cut it in half. And the last step, step 5, pick my favorite piece and smooth out the corners. Sometimes it can be helpful to get your finger a little bit wet, but not too wet. Now that is going to be the body of my bird and the wing of my bird. I'm taking that last chunk of clay, I'm going to divide it into 3 pieces, and those will be my eyes and the mouth. Now that doesn't look like a very good eyes and mouth, so I need to make it into 2 balls and 1 coil. So we already know how to make a ball out of our clay. We just roll it in the palm of our hand. And that eye looked a little bit too big, so I'm going to make them actually a little bit smaller so he's not too buggy-eyed. That's a better size. Sometimes when I'm rolling my ball, it becomes kind of longy shaped, and then I have to squish it. That's okay, it happens to me too. So I squish it down to make it more like a sphere instead of like a long oval. Now, a coil is basically a long, skinny snake, and this I get by rolling back and forth. I can do it on my table or in my hands. I actually prefer to roll it on my table when I'm making a coil. And that is way too long for the beak, but I can just fold the end of one of it and then pinch off the part that I don't want. And that will just be extra scrap clay. That looks very nice. I can change the shape of the mouth if I want my bird to be happy or sad. But uh-oh, nothing is stuck yet. Even if I pressed it down, when this dried, it would not stick. We're gonna make sure we clean up our area, put that extra clay back at the back table in the bag, and now I'm going to be doing the fun scratching, watering, and attaching. So I have to scratch both sides. And I'm not just doing it one direction, I'm kind of doing it multiple sides, really making it look rough, like a rough texture. If it just looks like it got scratched one time, not enough. Do more. Look at that. Ooh, rough, 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 rough. And that's my scratch stage. Next, I'm going to be getting that paintbrush out, putting that slip on there, putting the slip on both pieces. And that's the water stage. And then if it's nice and wet, I can gently press it on, and that's going to be the attaching stage to make it all stay together. And it will be nicely glued and won't pop off when I cook it in the kiln. Once I've got my wing attached, I can see how much room is left for my face. And so I can scratch all of those 3 little pieces as well. I want to scratch one spot for each eye and then a bigger spot for the mouth, so I can glue those pieces down too. Scratch, 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 scratch. Paint on that slip, 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 slip. And attach, attach, attach. Oh, I love it. And now it's such a strong bird with none of its eyes gonna pop off. I do want to maybe put some pupils in this eye, so I'm using the back of my ponytail, and I just poked some eyes with the back side, not the pointy side. The last kind of thing we could do is if you have really nice handwriting, you can write your name in the back or let Mrs. Rosell write your name in the back. Once that is finished, we can turn it into the back table, and there I will be poking some holes in it. That way we can add some nice little decorations like a hanger and some feet and a feather during the next class that we work on this bird. This is my finished bird. I'm just going to let it dry, get to leather hard, then bone dry, and then it's time to cook it in the kiln.
So we're going to take some oil pastels and kind of color on our bird. This way we're going to be mostly coloring on the top of our textures, and it's going to really highlight our nice textures by coloring with oil pastels. We need to press hard and try to cover all the areas you'd like to have color. You can see there's some white gaps. That's where my black India ink is going to be. If there's some hard parts to get to, we can try to find some like skinnier oil pastels to get back there. Okay, so if you think you've got it all the way that you would like it to be, got the sides if you want, then it's time to dunk it. I'm gonna try to get my hands not all India inky, and I'm gonna dunk it in here. Uh-oh, I think I lost it. There we go. And now all the gaps are filled in with a blackish gray color. I'm gonna put that down here to dry, and that looks pretty cool. I even love how a little bit of India ink is stuck in there. I'm gonna let that dry even longer. And then if there's any that's on top of your oil pastel, you can dab it off. If you don't want it in those eyes, you can put a paper towel in there. As soon as it's dry, and it will dry quickly, we can put our pipe cleaners in there. I'm gonna let this dry for now. All right, my guy's looking drier, so I'm gonna do a few more steps. Now, you can pick out 10 beads max. You don't have to have beads, but you can have up to 10. We're gonna have some pipe cleaners, 2 pipe cleaners you pick out, a feather if you want one, and then I will be doing the glue gun. So, what we'll do is you'll get one of the pipe cleaners, fold it in half, and I will chop it so that it is 2, and then I will chop it one more time so that you have stuff for your feet, okay? The other pipe cleaner you're gonna leave whole, and when you go back to your seat, you can just take it, put it through here. If you wanna twist the top right here, you can. And then you take it and you twist it up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to leave those up here, you can. I don't like how those look, so I like to wrap them around. looks nice. Maybe I'll twist this one more time. Great. So I've got the top ready to go. Now I'm going to do my feet. For my feet, I'm going to take this through, wrap it around, and twist it on. 1, 2, 3, as much as I can until I can't anymore. Okay, good. Take the other one, wrap it on. Well, I want to make it a little bit longer so it's about the same length toe. Wrap it around until I can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Got my 2 feet, but those are such boring feet. So I'm going to put on some beads. 1. Do the orange first. 2. 3. I might like just 3 beads. I think I'm going to just do 6 total. And then I'll save those other beads for something else. I like how it's kind of like a little pattern. White, orange, white. I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to twist it around for his foot. Watch that again. It's crossed over, back behind. We'll even zoom in on this. I'm going to take this. I'm right up next to my beads and I'm twisting both sides. They're overlapping, and I would like that. If you want to make it extra secure, you could twist it around again. I think mine feels pretty good. You do want to be careful. It could maybe slide off if it's not tight enough. I think my feet look so cute. All right. The last step, as I said, is our feather. Bing. So I've got my hot glue gun, which always is stringy. I'm just going to put a dot of hot glue on the hole by the tail, and I'll stick the feather in. And there we go. There's my finished little bird.